Greetings from Mapleton Hall in Suffield, Connecticut, and welcome to our Give Your Heart to Mapleton Hall event as the Suffield players paint the risers and we prepare the hall to welcome you back to see us here again soon, in person. And if you've driven by the hall recently, you've seen that bright new coat of paint, thanks to the generosity of folks like you and an equally generous grant that made it all possible. That's just part of what it takes to keep this grand old building going. Mapleton Hall has been an integral part of this town for 138 years, a historic meeting place of community and sharing. And for over 40 of those years, the Suffield players have been the proud stewards of this historic landmark. Today, we're meeting virtually to celebrate the hall. So, enjoy the event. Give your heart to Mapleton Hall. And if you can, maybe give a little from the heart, too. Thank you.
Welcome to the Give Your Heart to Mapleton Hall Cabaret benefit. On behalf of the Suffield Players Board of Directors, we are so excited to welcome you. My name is Rachel Barrison, and I'm thrilled to be here with my Players co-star, Lisa Parker. We are your hosts for this evening's incredible lineup of entertainment.
First, we'd like to extend a lovely warm thank you to longtime Players member Conrad Rogowski for his shout out, and we hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit about Mapleton Hall's history. We have a lot more history and more shout outs coming up, but to set the virtual stage, since we won't be able to hear your applause, please use the chat function to share the love and give positive feedback to our performers tonight.
We are so thrilled to come together in support of the arts and the community of artists, audience members, and supporters here tonight. We are holding this virtual cabaret to kick off our Give Your Heart to Mapleton Hall campaign, where we hope to raise $10,000 from now through June.
It is really such a privilege to be able to create any art virtually during these difficult times, and to do so in support of our beloved Mapleton Hall is especially joyful. So we have a wonderful lineup for you this evening, including a magician. Now, to get ready for that, which is coming up in a little bit, you're going to need to get some props. You're going to need three things. You're going to need a pencil, you're going to need a paper, and you're going to need your cell phone, but of course, make sure that it's on silent.
Oh yes, mine is on silent. This should be fun. Our next shout out comes from the great state of Texas. We are sure you'll recognize Amy and Dale Facey from their time at Mapleton Hall.
I joined the Suffield Players in 1992. My first
12.
show was God's Favorite. And then I brought him over kicking and screaming.
Yeah, because I came over for Dangerous Liaisons and chasing you until you caught me. And from there, history was made. Shortly after that, at the close of the show Post-Mortem, which I was in and Amy was stage managing, I proposed to her on the stage. So that's probably our fondest memory of Mapleton Hall. But following that,
Well, I was on the play reading committee for many years, and
I was a director, I was an actor, I was the president for many years. So those memories carry us through all these days in Texas since we've been here since 2011, and that's the only reason we stopped being with the players. So we still do get the newsletter, so that keeps us grounded. Anyway, cheers to you guys. We miss you.
we love you. We love Mapleton Hall.
Here's to Mapleton. Give your hearts to Mapleton Hall.
Thank you, Amy and Dale. We miss you.
And thanks to Mike and Patty Hargrove and all of you who have already given. We are off to a great start. All you need to do to make your gift is click on the link in the chat.
Oh, and by the way, we want to let you know that every gift of $50 or more can choose to receive a pair of tickets to any performance of our first live show back at the hall.
So, have you ever wondered what goes into a genuine fruitcake? Well, tonight you're going to find out. We are so happy to present part one of the fruitcake recipe, starring Gladys Adams, Steph McGilvery, and Nika Shakmuradova.
the fruit cake recipe. Let's talk about our ingredients.
1 cup water,
1 cup of sugar,
4 large eggs,
2 cups candied fruit,
1 teaspoon of baking soda,
1 teaspoon of salt,
1 cup brown sugar,
lemon juice,
nuts,
1 bottle whiskey. Sample the whiskey, check for quality. Yes, yes. Oh, ta-da. Ah.
Crooked Lane in the town of Suffield deserves its name. It follows a ridge trending northward, and the ridge winds this way and that among valleys sloping to either side. About 3 miles north of the Suffield post office, this crooked road makes a sudden turn to the right and drops down a gentle hill, and just ahead, across a bridge, is Central Hall. The Hartford Current, May the 2nd, 1892.
Crooked Lane is now Mapleton Avenue, and Central Hall is now Mapleton Hall. And this is the story of how the hall came to be.
The Crooked Lane Hall, a wooden building looking like a cross between a chapel and a comfortable farmhouse, was built in 1882 for the convenience of the little neighborhood whose residents hold a Sunday school service, regular socials, and Grange meetings. The building cost $6,000. The Hartford Current, 1903.
Cecil H. Fuller put up the original $6,000 and, quote, refused to accept any interest during the 20 years it took to repay the loan. Thus began the deeply intertwined tradition of socializing at the hall and fundraising for the hall, beginning with the May breakfasts, the first of which was held in 1887. Farm families worked tirelessly to create an event that would not only raise funds, but would elevate the community in the eyes of its neighbors. By the time this article was written in 1892, the Merry May Breakfast has made Crooked Lane in Suffield famous. The circled text highlights the attraction then and now. People come and go, gossip with their neighbors, lounge about the hall and the grassy plot around, and enjoy themselves as they please.
Good evening, everyone. I am Bill. This is Mike. We are the Acoustic Eels, not to be confused with the Electric Eels because of the guitars. We're going to play a song for you guys tonight. It's a song I wrote with my friend Nick Schoen about a decade ago at this point, and we started it kind of as a little exercise just to see if we still had our songwriting chops, and the more we played it, the more we liked it, and we hope you do too.
And I just play guitar.
1, 2, 3, 4. I feel your arms around me. Your everything surrounds me. Come on, take me by the hand. Maybe your eyes can save me. They've been what drives me crazy. Show me everything you can. Na 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 na, my Nora. Na 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 na, my Nora. Every single notion, it brings up raw emotion. The touch your smiles you send my way. The words keep stumbling out. They make me stand up and shout. Yes, I know that sounds cliche. Na 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 na, my Nora. Na 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 na, my Nora. And now you're here with me, and everyone can see just what you mean to me. And when I'm with you, I am who I want to be. As you take me down the path that lies in front of me, my Nora. Na 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 na, my Nora. Na 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 na, my Nora. Feel your arms around me, your everything surrounds me. Come on, take me by the hand. Maybe those eyes can save me. They've been what drives me crazy. Show me everything you can. Na 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 na, my Nora. Na 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 na, my Nora. Na 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 na, my Nora. Na 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 na, my Nora.
Thank you, Bill and Mike from the Acoustic Eels. That was so great. And thank you both for playing our pre-show music. Now, let's see, what do we have coming up? We have a short play, we have some musical numbers, and don't forget, we have more Mapleton Hall history and the Magicians. Did you get your 3 items ready that we mentioned before?
So exciting to see the donations coming in. Thank you all. Let's keep it coming. Lisa, shall we see how our fruitcake is coming?
Yes.
Directions. Take a large bowl. Check the whiskey again to be sure it is the highest quality. Pour 1 level cup and drink. Repeat.
the electric mixer and beat 1 cup of butter in a large fluffy bowl.
Add 1 teaspoon of sugar and beat it again.
Make sure the whiskey's okay. Create another tub.
There are many memories I could point to during Much Ado About Nothing when, as one of the Keystone Cops, we would be entering with this kind of music playing, and we would be getting a reaction before we'd even be seen by the audience just based on this music. And hearing that in the little staircase behind the stage was always great to hear, and something that I'll never forget. One of the most memorable moments in my whole theater life, not just with Suffield Players. I just want to thank everyone for doing this event, and I wish you nothing but success with it. And I love the Suffield Players. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh Browser, for that shout out to the Suffield Players. I'm Dana Ring, here in my kitchen, not to make any fruitcake, but to share some magic with you, including an experiment involving unseen forces that you can take part in if you want to. You'll need 3 different objects: your cell phone, a pen or a pencil, and a piece of paper. Any will do. We'll get to that later, but first, let me start with a quick trick involving this piece of rope. I tie it around my neck. I hate this part. Thank you. Thank you. Now next, I'd like to tell you a strange story using these pieces of rope to illustrate it. Millennia ago, in ancient Greece, travelers would have to spend long journeys on foot. And when night came, they would spend the night in certain inns that were set up along the route for that purpose. Now, one particular innkeeper, who went by the name of Procrustes, was a rather odd individual. He had a bed he said would be guaranteed to fit you. He only had the one bed. If you were too short, he would stretch you on the rack until you fit his bed. If you were too tall, he would cut you off at the knees until you fit his bed. Nice guy. Now, it happened that there were 3 gentlemen walking through his territory. Now, one of them was exactly the right size for the Procrustean bed. The other 2 were definitely in jeopardy. But they were rather wise men, and they were forewarned about the Procrustean bed, and they were prepared. They put their heads together and their feet and muttered a strange magic chant using words in a language now dead. And in a flash, suddenly, all 3 men were exactly the same size. They spent a peaceful night in the Procrustean bed, and in the morning, the spell dissolved. They were able to go on their way unmolested. And now it's time for the unseen forces experiment. Remember, you need your cell phone, piece of paper, and a pen or pencil. Now to start, to put those objects on the table in front of you in any order you wish. One on the left, one on the right, and one in the middle. Have you done that? Good. Now, in order to further randomize things, I'm going to have you do a series of swaps. First, take the piece of paper and swap it with whatever object is on its right. If there's nothing on the right, just do nothing. Just pretend. Second, take the pen or pencil and swap it with whatever object is on its left. Again, if there's nothing there on the left, don't do anything. And lastly, take your cell phone and swap it with whatever object is on its right. Have you done that? Good. Now you have a truly random position because they started out in positions that I could not possibly have known. And thanks to the swaps I had you do, they are now in positions that even you could not have known. And let's see if the unseen forces have done their work. With your left hand, reach over and take whatever is on the left of the objects and hold off to the side. Now the last two objects, one is not going to weigh as much as the other. Take this lighter object and place it in your lap. And finally, with your right hand, pick up the remaining object. Now, the unseen forces tell me that in your left hand is the pen or pencil. In your right hand is your cell phone. And in your lap is the piece of paper. Am I right? Of course I am. Now, is that coincidence or unseen forces? I leave the answer up to you. Now, I have one last piece of magic to do for you. But to do it, I'm going to have to go to my living room. While I'm doing that, please enjoy actors Mark Prue and Anthony Simpson in The Opening.
Next. Well, what's your name?
Bob.
Make it Ray, and you've got the job.
Really?
No, I was kidding. I don't even know what job you're applying for anyway.
Oh, I'm a comedy writer.
Yeah? Are you good?
Oh, well, I have an extensive resume here with many years of it.
So, I'm not interested in the resume. Experience doesn't always mean quality. My brother has done stand-up comedy in hundreds of bars, but nobody thinks he's funny. The only thing that means comedy is comedy. Your stuff has to be able to fall in my chair laughing. Will it?
That all depends on the armrests.
What?
The armrests on your chair. It would be much easier for you to fall off a stool than the chair you're on now.
I'm not laughing.
Right. Well, how can I prove to you that I'm the best for the job? I have a number of scripts here that maybe you'd like to...
Humor on paper is flat. It's often funnier on paper than it actually is when it's performed live. I say you should come back here with some live comedy routines to perform, and then we'll talk. That is all, Ray. Good day.
Bob.
Right. Change that, would you?
I have a video here of some of my work. Perhaps you'd like to see...
Listen. Don't you understand? I want it live. Did I mention videos once? Videos are lousy. You probably got the local cable company do a demo for you. Not exactly high quality. Definitely not going to impress me. It's got to be live or nothing. Thank you, writer. I have no more time for you. Next!
Wait. I didn't want to have to do this, but, well, you don't really leave me any choice.
What are you talking about?
I'm desperate. You want it live? I'll deliver. I have a cast of 20 waiting outside in your hallway, ready to perform. Can I let them in?
What?
They all know their lines and are willing to go through my entire script. We've rehearsed all month.
Let me get this straight. You mean to tell me you have an entire cast
and crew
waiting outside that door to perform your material live to me just so you can land this job?
Well, that sums it up rather well. Can I let them in now?
Here? How many did you say there were?
About 20 cast. There's another 10 crew members. Oh, and then there's the audience.
Audience?
Well, of course. What did you expect? It was either that or canned laughter. You want some live response, don't you? I'm sure you would not have been satisfied with anything less than a complete studio audience.
Yes, but are you
Well,
gonna...
I thought you'd be pleased. It adds to the excitement of live comedy.
I suppose. How many are in your audience?
About 100.
What? What do you think this office is? A stage? How am I going to fit 100 plus people in here?
Don't worry. I've arranged two. I had a work crew come and install the chairs last night. I'm quite surprised you didn't notice for yourself.
Oh my God, how long have they been in here?
Only a few minutes. And don't worry about the mess. I wouldn't let them bring any food inside. I'll clean everything up and the chairs when I get the job.
And if you don't get the job?
You'll have 100 chairs to unscrew and a bunch of programs to clean up.
Programs?
You surprise me. Do you mean to say you didn't expect programs? What kind of a show would this be without that? Here's yours.
Any big name stars?
Hey, these are my friends. They're not getting paid to do this. It's just doing me a favor.
Yes, but have acted before. I mean, they aren't going to make her stuff look bad, are they? That is to say, if it isn't bad already.
Oh, no. You can be assured that I did hold auditions. Many of these people have acted many times previously. And as I said, we've rehearsed considerably.
Well, you've obviously put me on the spot. I'd hate to disappoint 100 people. Go ahead and let them in.
Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate it greatly.
I hope it's funny.
Oh, so do I. So do I. So did I get the job?
Yes, Ray, you've got the job.
Yeah.
Same time again next month? Now let me go check on that fruitcake. Next!
Turn on, turn off the mixer.
Break 2 eggs and add to the bowl, and chuck in a cup of candied fruit.
Mix on the turner. If the dried fruit gets stuck in the breaters, pry it loose with a screwdriver.
There, not only did we meet at Mapleton Hall and with the Suffield Players, but then we got engaged at Mapleton Hall.
It was a small coup that I tried to set up with other people through at the end of the production of Lady Windermere's Fan.
Which is no small feat because I was the stage manager, so keeping a small coup away from a stage manager is pretty clever.
So we ended up getting engaged on stage, which unfortunately she knew what was going on the whole time.
But that's okay, because it was still wonderful and amazing and one of the best nights of our life. And then, not only that, but we just couldn't stay away from Mapleton Hall. So we did our engagement pictures at Mapleton Hall as well. And that's one of them. This is one of our favorites. We have it hanging in our home. And we gave our hearts to Mapleton Hall long ago. And we have been loving the Suffield Players ever since.
Thank you, Chelsea and Danny. We always love hearing about relationships that started at the Hall. Some of you might know that Lisa and I actually became friends during the Players New Faces program when we co-directed a show together.
Yes, we did. And one of the most magical things about the theater is not just meeting one's future mate or making new friends, but really it's the ability to create something out of nothing. One of our favorite moments is coming into the hall just before rehearsals start, when everything is empty and everything is quiet, and you see that bare stage, but it is full of possibilities. I mean, we could build anything there, and we often do.
Yes, possibility and opportunity. What powerful words they are. To continue to build a strong future, it is critical that we sustain Mapleton Hall to ensure that we can continue to build our dreams together.
Each of us has the opportunity to make a difference, and tonight we are asking for your support. Please consider giving your heart to Mapleton Hall by clicking on the link on your Facebook page. When you do that, you'll see that a gift of any level can have an important impact.
Lisa, we are so excited to share that we have 2 anonymous donors who will match any gifts that come in during the next 10 minutes up to $2,000. If you haven't given yet, now is a great time, knowing your dollars will be doubled. And any gift given to the Give Your Heart to Mapleton Hall campaign of $50 or more will receive 2 tickets to any performance of our first show back at Mapleton Hall.
And don't forget, after you've made your gift, please put a heart message or a heart emoji in the chat box and share a little love with tonight's performers and crew. And now we hope you will enjoy the next installment of Mapleton Hall's history.
Fundraising for the hall continues. By 1897, the 11th May breakfast raised sufficient funds to double the floor space in the hall. But the big news that year was it became the first building in Suffield to have electricity. In the spring of 1903, the May breakfast continues to be a highlight. The headline reads, Crooked Lane Hall Association enriches its treasury for the 17th successive year, and proudly announced that only $800 remains to be paid on the hall. Not only were the May breakfasts a financial success, but they were so popular that those who had been served were confident that nothing but death or imprisonment would keep them out of Mapleton on May 1st, 1904. 1906, a year of celebration for the hall, as this year's May breakfast will lift Crooked Lane Association out of debt. The event is still so popular that trolley cars passed the hall every half hour from Hartford and Springfield. If you look closely, you can see the trolley car on Main Street, just passing the intersection of Main and Mountain Road, where the monument still stands. Also in 1906, the Current shared some of the menu items, saying, "The breakfast provides the dishes for which New England housewives are famous." Not surprisingly, 3 types of shad were served, the shad being native to Connecticut. The menu also includes lamprey eels, roast pork, cucumber pickles, and 4 kinds of pie. Imagine preparing and serving this menu for literally hundreds of people. In the late 1970s, this man's portrait was discovered in the hall. We've been calling him Mr. Mapleton for years, and for many, many productions, his portrait has hung on stage or just behind the proscenium. He was our good luck charm, our unofficial mascot. But we didn't know who he was until this 1914 article was found. This is Arthur Sykes, former president of the Crooked Lane Hall Association. The Sykes family farm still stands on Mapleton Avenue, right near the intersection with Halliday Avenue. In 1917, the Current ran this article about the Suffield Grange. But notable for us is that this is the first dated picture of the hall that we have. Although the May breakfasts continued to 1925, there's not a lot of press coverage after this piece from 1919. The 1962 item on the right is important because it tells us the name Crooked Lane, which had been in use for over 200 years, would be changed to Mapleton Avenue in order to conform with post office regulations. From 1962 until the early 1970s, we have another big gap. Until, drumroll please, the Suffield Players enter the scene.
I love learning about the hall. Thanks to those of you who have donated so far. And remember, you have 5 minutes left to double the impact of your gift by taking advantage of the matching gift.
And coming up next, we're so excited to present an original dance by choreographer and dancer Adina Stuhlman, which she choreographed specifically for us this evening. So we hope you enjoy Kitchen Swing.
Hello from beautiful Vermont. I'm Wes. I was on the Mapleton Hall stage half dozen times or so during the 8 years that I lived in Connecticut. Now, I have many good memories from Mapleton Hall, but probably the show with the most vivid memory for me would be Flaming Guns of the Purple Sage. The physical exhaustion of those fight scene rehearsals, all that sticky blood everywhere, and who could forget those costumes, or lack thereof? And if butcher blocks could talk, whew. Suffield Players truly is a family, one that I miss. And so, from the bottom of my heart, tonight I give my heart to Mapleton Hall.
Thank you, Wesley Olds, for that shout out. And to our audience, thank you for joining me here in my living room. I've got Kim and Risa are going to help me out with this next art piece. I'm going to do a card trick. I'm a magician. It's the law. I got to do a card trick. Now I have here a packet of 27 cards, proof positive that I'm not playing with a full deck. Kim, you're going to have to choose your card. And can you see these cards over here?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm gonna run through them, and don't say anything when you see one you like. Just keep it in mind. Okay, do you have one?
I do.
Excellent. Risa, could you just give me a number between 1 and 27?
18.
18, fantastic. Remember that number. Now I'm going to start dealing these cards onto the table in front of me. And I'm going to deal them into 3 piles. I'm going to call the pile A, B, and C. Okay. Now, Kim, when you see your card, don't try not to say anything because I'm going to try to watch for reactions, but just note which pile it came in. Okay.
Okay.
We're ready. Here's pile A, B, and C. A, B, and C. A, B, and C. This could take a while, so just hum to yourselves until we get to the end. And here's the last row coming up. Kim, did you see your card?
I did.
Excellent. Was it in row A, B, or C?
It was in row C.
Row C, right over there. Very good. I'm going to do this one more time, just because I like doing it. Watch for your card again. Don't tell me until we're finished. Getting up to the end. And we got one last row to go. Okay, Kim, did you see your card?
I did.
Excellent. Was it in pile A, B, or C?
It was in B.
It was in B. All right. Wait, okay. This is the last time through. Pile A, B, and C, and A, B, and C, etc., etc., etc. And we're coming up to the last ones. And here's the final row. Okay, did you see your card?
I did.
Okay, was it an A, B, or C?
B.
B, this one here?
Yep.
Okay. Now, Risa, what was your number?
18.
18. Okay, let's see if I did this right. 1, 2. Let's show them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Kim, what was your card?
Two of hearts.
Wow. Great.
Excellent.
You got it.
Well, thank you, Kim, and thank you, Rissa, for joining me tonight and letting me play a little bit. And now it's time to check with our chefs and the fruitcake.
Sample the bourbon to check for toxicity.
Next, shift 2 cups of salt or something. Who cares?
Check the whiskey.
Now, sift the lemon juice. Strain your nuts.
Hi, my name is Wilfred Roy. I was president of the Players right after the Suffield Grange Hall, aka Mapleton Hall, came into our lives. I first auditioned in 1977 for a play called Dirty Work at the Crossroads, the first Players effort ever produced at Mapleton. The play was a melodrama. The hall was perfect for it. It even had the original curtain, with ads painted on it for old-timey businesses like the local ice house. But the hall was still in use by the Grange at the time, which had dwindled to a couple of dozen members, all in their 80s more or less, and they couldn't maintain the building. If someone left the coffee pot on when we turned the stage lights on, we blew every fuse in the building. Despite the dilapidation of the building, we all gave our hearts to Mapleton Hall because we finally had a permanent home after 25 years. Renovations were made, costumes were moved from my barn to the hall, the rest is history. History preserved in Mapleton Hall and history being made by the Players.
Thank you, Wilf, for that wonderful, wonderful shout out. And thanks to our bakers for that very interesting cooking demonstration. Now, while the clock is running out on their ability to actually make this cake, there is still time for you to make your donation if you haven't already done so. Don't forget, all you have to do is simply click on the link. And also, please remember after you've done that to put your heart emoji or your little words of encouragement into the chat box.
As a reminder, on this cold winter evening, a gift of $100 can pay for a month of heat, and $500 would pay for a season of snow plowing.
One of the things that makes the Suffield Players so special is the people. We are so grateful to share really special memories with players past and present, people who've been with us over all of these years.
Welcome to historic Mapleton Hall. Before we begin the performance, for your safety and enjoyment, we'd like to make the following brief announcements. The use of recording devices of any kind is strictly prohibited. There will be one 15-minute intermission, at which time refreshments will be available at the stage left canteen. As a courtesy to the cast and your fellow audience members, please silence any cell phones or other electronic devices. Also, before we begin, please open or unwrap any food items. Thank you for your cooperation. Now we invite you to sit back and enjoy the performance.
And family stuff. So our family has been involved. We've got my mom, son, sister, and of course my wife dragged us all into it. She's the culprit.
I am.
So,
I wasn't going down alone.
So it's fun to get them exposed to different opportunities to use their skills. And I think that's one of the things I really enjoyed about having them around, is just having them contribute and feeling like they're part of the success of the show.
But it was nice to see Christopher's growth with the players. He was taken under the wing of a number of people there, but Jerry Zaleski helped him tremendously. Nick was another one. They introduced him to the soundboard and the lighting booth, and they helped him to find his passion. I think one of my favorite nights with Christopher there was he was in the sound booth working on the Heiress, and we were goofing around, and I made some kind of stupid comment, and I made some kind of horse noise, and I heard Christopher laugh from the sound booth, and he told me afterwards he never realized I was funny. So it was kind of nice to have your son realize that, you know, I might have some skills going on there.
Yeah.
And we give our heart to Mapleton Hall.
And we love the Suffield Players.
Thank you, Ron and Karen Velasca. And now we are simply thrilled to introduce a couple, actors and singers, Tim Riley and Lindsay Thomas, to sing a Gershwin duet just for you.
Listen to my tale of woe. It's terribly sad but true. All dressed up, no place to go. Each evening I'm awfully blue. I must win some, miss. Can't go on like this. I could blossom out, I know, with somebody just like you. So, oh, sweet and lovely lady, be good. Oh, lady, be good to me. I am so awfully misunderstood. So, lady, be good to me. Oh, please help. So, lady, be good to me.
You're a very naughty boy when you ask me for a kiss. I'm dismayed, a little bit afraid. Now holding hands is quite a joy for a truly modest miss. It could do just as well for you. I am not refusing you, dear. Let me make this perfectly clear. I won't say I will, but I won't say I won't. I don't say I do, but I don't say I don't. Kissing of any kind never was on my mind. Maybe I can arrange it. It's my mind, so I can change it. I might say I might, but modesty forbids. That's the reason why I don't. You'd have taken your kiss if you had any cheek. Maybe I'd scream, but my voice is so weak. I won't say I will, but I won't say I won't.
Add 1 table. Add 1 tablespoon of sugar or something. Whatever you can find.
Grease the oven.
Turn on the cake tin to 350 degrees. Don't forget to beat off the turner.
Throw the bowl out the window. Yes! The bowl. Throw the bowl out the window. Check the whiskey. And go to bed.
Enjoy.
Good evening, and welcome to my home here at Mapleton Hall. That was a common opening line when attending one of our Dracula plays with the Suffield Players. It was a tall order bringing Dracula to the stage. I enlisted the help of my friend George Chartier. I needed his skills of the dark arts to bring Dracula to life. One night, I was scrambling around when I heard our places. I quickly got into position behind a great stone column and laid in wait for my dramatic entrance. The music swelled. There was a crash of thunder from Jerry in the sound booth, and I emerged with my cape flying open. I had anticipated some gasps, ahs, and oohs. Instead, nothing. Silence, with an occasional laugh. I was confused. In my haste, I had forgotten to put on my shoes, and Dracula, the Prince of Darkness, was standing center stage in his socks. The next morning, I picked up a newspaper, and to my delight, the headline read, "Let me bite you." I was relieved that it didn't say, "Let me give your shoes a shine." This is just one of the many memories that come to mind when I think about the Suffield Players.
Thank you, Lyle, and thank you to Tim and Lindsay. And a special thank you to fruitcake bakers Gladys, Nika, and Steph.
And thank you to those of you who have already made your gift. If you haven't yet done so, you can do so by just clicking on the link in the chat, or you can always visit our website, suffieldplayers.org. And if you scroll down on the main page, you'll see the poster for tonight, and you can click on that and make a donation anytime.
And don't forget to share your love by putting a heart in the chat. And now we hope you enjoy part 3 of the Mapleton Hall history.
The year was 1974. The Suffield Players had been active in town for 22 years, moving between the high school, the Academy Barn, and even the VFW Hall. Finally, at the suggestion of association member and part-time thespian Ed Yuska, the Suffield Players performed for the first time in Mapleton Hall with the melodrama Lily the Felon's Daughter. These gorgeous posters were all authentically hand-lettered by Nadine Glover. In 1978, a wonderful article in The Current offers a special look at the history of the hall by featuring an interview with Suffield senior citizen Tallulah Creelan.
I remember the May breakfast, which lasted all day. They did everything properly, and they were really fussy. All the women wore these little aprons when serving the long tables. Oh, that's the way I grew up.
This same article also highlighted some of the problems with the old building. Trustee Richard Sykes, a direct descendant of Mr. Mapleton, Arthur Sykes, said,
"Nostalgia won't keep the termites from eating the wood or keep the paint in good shape."
In 1979, the association moves into the modern era of fundraising, which quite a few of us longtime Players members remember fondly, and which provided the theme for tonight's event, Give Your Heart to Mapleton Hall. Here we again see the names of Sykes and Spaulding, descendants of the original founders. Many of us remember Merwin and Judy Spaulding, who played such a huge role in restoring Mapleton Hall. In this grainy but still important article from the Daily News, we learn that Merwin Spaulding has reignited fundraising for hall restoration in anticipation of the hall's 100th birthday, coming up in 1982. 8 years later, this 1987 article gives us a much clearer picture of Merwin standing on the refurbished stairway with the newly painted Mapleton Hall sign. Of the hall, Merwin said,
"It was in bad condition. The building had no insulation, crumbling plaster walls, a floor that looked like it belonged in a barn, and a pressed tin ceiling that had turned from white to brown because of a wood stove."
By 1988, the Players took over fundraising with our own theatrical flair. Many of us old-timers will remember The Masked Ball, a recreation of the French court of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, and another opportunity to combine socializing with raising funds for the hall. The Players purchased the hall from the association in 1999. And since 2005, the Players have continued to put the fun in fundraising with the annual holiday benefit show and raffle. These family-friendly, engaging events continue the May breakfast tradition of combining a good time with a good cause. We continue to be inspired by the Crooked Lane Hall Association and by Merwin Spaulding, who worked tirelessly for the hall. Here are some before, during, and after pictures from the ceiling repair project in 2009. Brad Willard, our painting and restoration expert, said,
The tin ceilings were covered in an old foil paint, which had disintegrated. We used an electrostatic technique to paint the tin tiles and borders anew.
I think we can all agree that Mr. Willard and crew certainly did justice to the 100-year-old ceilings. Countless repairs and upgrades to the hall have been completed by the players since 1999. Most recently, in 2017, our successful Step Up campaign raised funds to once again replace the rotting exterior steps, and 2020's Brushing Up campaign enabled us to repair and repaint the exterior. So tonight, in 2021, we gather together virtually in the grand tradition of the Crooked Lane Hall Association to celebrate the community that is the Suffield Players and raise funds for our beloved home, Mapleton Hall.
Did you have a good time tonight? We sure did.
Yeah, we really did. One of the things that brings a feeling of warmth to a snowy February evening is that sense that we are all here together. Our theater community, our Mapleton Hall family, in the same tradition as the original founders over 100 years ago.
And please know that you can continue to make donations right through June by going to the website, suffieldplayers.org, and clicking on the Give Your Heart poster.
Because of you, we know that we will have heat next winter, and our parking lot will be clear of snow.
We really want to thank everyone who participated in the creation of this event, especially our Give Your Heart to Mapleton Hall committee members, our Suffield Players Board of Directors, and all of the cast and all of the crew members.
Yes, thank you. And we also want to thank Wendy Taylor from the Kent Memorial Library in Suffield for her help in obtaining so much of the archival information you saw in the Mapleton Hall history presentations.
And finally, and certainly last but not least, we want to thank you so much for watching and so much for your generosity. It is truly, truly because of you that we are able to make the magic of theater possible and ensure that Mapleton Hall remains a vital place in our community so that we can gather. And we so look forward to seeing you back at the hall, and we wish you health and happiness from both of us, from everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, I'm Amy.
I'm Dale.
And we give our hearts to Mapleton
We all gave our hearts to Mapleton Hall.
We love the Suffield Players and we miss you. We
give our hearts to Mapleton.
I give my heart to Mapleton Hall. I love the Suffield Players.
They are a pillar of the community and an asset to the arts. Thank you.
We'll be eternally grateful.
Suffield Players truly is a family, one that I miss. And so, from the bottom of my heart, tonight I give my heart to Mapleton.
We gave our hearts to Mapleton Hall long ago. So we will always love Suffield Players and each other because of Mapleton Hall.
Listen to my tale of woe. It's terribly sad, but true.
One more time together.
We love the Suffield.
No, first one. Sorry.
Oh.
So a lot of the old timers will remember us.
Mark Brew, Sean O'Keefe.
All dressed up, no place to go. Each day I'm awfully blue.
Conrad, Patty.
We
love it.
We
give
love...
our hearts.
I I must win some miss. Can't go on like this. I could blossom out, I know, with somebody just like you. So
Becky Schoenfield,
Kelly,
Karen.
We give our hearts we give our hearts to
Mapleton Hall.
oh, sweet and lovely, baby, be good. Oh, baby, be good to me.
All these days in Texas.
Oh, no.
Wait, we got to pick up our keys.
Okay, ready?
All right.
And we do still hate it here, by the way, but
Amanda Marshall,
I am so awfully misunderstood. So, baby, be good to
me. And we
love the Suffield
we love the
players.
Suffield players.
We
No,
stink.
really. Just because we can't spit it out doesn't.
We can. It's just not in sync.
Dory, Dana.
Oh, please have some pity. I'm all alone in this big city. I tell you, I'm just a lonesome babe in the wood. So, baby, be good to me.
Jerry, Martha.
All right. Well, thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Love you.
We miss
All
you
of
all.
you guys. We miss you guys very much.